And since they mentioned phonics, you mentioned a point before meeting phonics, that you were going to stop making music. What um what prompted that? Because we hear that a lot from artists, that there becomes a point where they are going to stop making music.
At that point, I was doing, trying to pursue my dream for so long, and I didn't feel like things were transpiring in the way that I had envisioned, and I was getting to a point of exhaustion. I was a parent. I had two kids at the time, two sons at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Newly married. I was only married for a few years at that point, and I had a job, but that was demanding, that needed my attention. And it was just like jumping through hoops to participate, to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of it, spending my own money. So I was making more of a sacrifice than the investment, because obviously that money is coming from somewhere else. So all of those things, just as an adult trying to make real decisions about my life, I was definitely contemplating maybe slowing down, maybe stop trying to pursue it, because I didn't feel like I was getting the light shined on me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had, little sparks of success, little sparks of successes. And this is my time when I'm working with my brother Chameleon Beats. We working on different projects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we shopping them, getting rejected, coming back to the table, releasing independently. But it's a lot of ups and downs at that time, and things were on the internet weren't so how can I say this? The internet was available, but it wasn't so efficient at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Things were not as built out as they are right now. And I think that as the technology got more accessible, it benefited artists like myself, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody was becoming more accustomed to being online and getting on social media. People, social media existed. It existed for a long time. So I'm not trying to reinvent that timeline, but I'm just thinking like people are really heavy online by 2013,
Yeah.
2014. I mean, everybody is really locked in, and it's not something so brand new anymore. It's like commonplace. So it's very established, and that really helped. That really helped. So having more people with access to a really operational internet made it so
Mm-hmm.
we had visibility and we could compete, and that's what we needed. That it was the perfect recipe. Again, phonics just had timing, excellent timing, and it also aligned with me feeling a certain way, and he was a different direction from the
Mm-hmm.
music that I was making before, and it felt right. So glad it happened.
Yeah, I avoided social media till sometime around 2016, 2017. And I think I only started social media because the kids were graduating and they were going to different colleges, and it was just a way for us to keep up with each other. Um, so how did you meet Phonics?
Everything at first was online. He just hit me up. I started recording immediately because his music was that good. He
Mm-hmm.
reached out first, and then eventually we had a few sessions in Virginia where he came down, and we really got to link up and hang out, and that became something that he did, frequently when we needed to make music, and
Mm-hmm.
our second album, my follow up album, Knowledge Itself, we did a lot of that together, in the same room, in the same
Mm-hmm.
studio. So that was pretty awesome, to have that story. We also did a photo shoot at the studio, or in around studio we were working at. So we were just kind of just trying to put together um, enough content that when we put the music out, we had a story to tell. And I'm glad that we got to link up those times, and we did, and make the
Hmm.
music that we made, um, making history.
So let me ask you: Is do you prefer to work in the studio with someone, or the emailing back and forth?
I actually rather work by myself. Um, I've been in studios most of my life, so I don't get the
Hmm.
same awe factor that I used to when I first walked in the studio. At 17 years old, it's not
Hmm.
the same type of, oh, I'm here. I'm comfortable at home, so I can record myself, or I can record in the comfort of my own home with my fam here, or we can go somewhere mobile. I'm not opposed to, you know, going on vacation and bringing the equipment with me and recording while I'm out somewhere else to just have a different inspiration, because we can have a mobile studio set up anywhere. Basically, we've been doing it for so long. It's just part of what we do now, and understanding sound and frequencies and acoustics. I could walk in a room and just start talking and know if I can record in that room or not, just based
Yeah.
on the way that my voice reflects, throughout the room. So yeah, I prefer to just record with the people that need to be there
Oh,
versus, having a studio of people around me. So home base or a mutual place that we pick is probably where to happen now.
oh, okay, cool.
So, I mean, as an indie, I mean, do you have like advice for anyone else that's coming up, or as independent artists on how to like succeed in that lane, and that as not on labels or anything like huge labels?
Yes, I think that, you know, first, staying consistent and sticking to your plan, being original, all that's important. But the hardest thing to do is to stick to what you believe in, especially if you believe that it works. Too many times people get the first rejections, and then they turn around and they abandon a sound that they believed in for something else that they believe is going to get them recognized faster. I don't believe in that. I believe that you have to own what it is that you're doing, that you have to embrace it and stand behind it 110% until you fail enough times where you like, okay, obviously this doesn't work. It must be
Right,
bad. But if you believe that it's good, I think that there's a lot of music out there today that's not great, but the artists behind that music believe in it so much that they sell it to an audience and they believe in it.
right,
So, that self-esteem is huge to have, being stubborn is huge, a huge factor. But also having some sense of flexibility. Don't be so stubborn that you blow off opportunities. Be stubborn enough to stand on your principles. You know what I mean? That you believe in the things that you believe in, keeping your moral compass in check, following your conscience, but also being stubborn enough to know when somebody is not telling you the truth, when somebody's just trying to down you, or, one up you, or
right.
when ego isn't, trying to bruise your ego. Just, you got to stay the course. You can't vacate. You can't get off once you on the track, stay on your track, stay on your path, and don't deviate, because
Right.
it's all about that level of consistency and belief in what you're doing.
Right. And and going on that, I think a lot of people get so caught up in wanting to succeed that they give up certain parts of their music, like the ownership and the publishing and all that stuff that goes on. I mean, how important do you think that is, even for anyone, when it comes to their art?
Okay, I think that I think that someone is gonna make the decision that they're gonna make no matter what. So if they're in a desperate financial situation, they're gonna make a bad decision because they're in a desperate financial situation. So the decision is already made. I think what artists do is incorporate too many people in that decision making process. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you know that you will take a bad deal for $1 million, why do you need a lawyer to negotiate taking a bad deal for $1 million if you're gonna tell a lawyer I'm gonna take the deal anyway? Just sign the contract. Take the bad deal for the million. Don't break them off with 15%. That's just stupid. If you know what you want to do already, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that people get into this game and it's just a game of checking off boxes. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and it shouldn't be that. It should be more or less doing what you want to do um, at all times. So I think that people gonna make the decision that they're gonna make based on their situation. I don't necessarily think that is people out there that are super naive and just like a deer with headlight. Nah, I don't really think that. I think that some younger artists may get taken advantage of, like some kids that come in if they don't have parental guidance or adult role models that can help guide them, then they can get sucked in. But adults are gonna do what they need to do to eat, pay
Right.
rent, have a car, have shelter. So you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I agree. I
The
agree.
principles
Yeah.
don't mean nothing when you're hungry. The
Exactly.
contract don't mean nothing when you're hungry.
When you're hungry, you're gonna do
The
what you
kids
gotta do.
exactly. So I
You
don't
know.
I don't sit on the soapbox and down people for making bad decisions because we all do
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? There's people out here check the check, knowing them title loans and all of that is illegal. But they out there going to
Yeah.
get the payday loans. Like, oh my God, this interest rate is so high, but I need
Mm-hmm.
this money. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They
There's,
know.
I mean, there's people doing worse than that because they
Right,
gotta
right.
eat and don't got no other way but to do that.
Right. So it's the
You know.
same thing. It's the same thing with hip hop. You know what I mean? I believe that it's the same principles with music. In the music industry, your situation gonna dictate the decisions that you make for your
Right.
career. Period. Period. You
Right.
don't
So
see
I'm
artists with money already making bad deals.
Do
They get
you
the best
think?
deals.
Do you think there's a lot of yes men in this game? Like when the artist, okay, like you were talking about, there's some bad music, and the artist believe in his music.
Hmm.
So then he has an audience he could sell that music to because they believe in it. But do
Hmm.
you think there's also some yes men that know that music ain't good, but are hyping up the artist to
Um.
believe it?
Yes. I
Yes,
mean,
right?
it's always gonna be people that are worried about their paycheck. They get paid to say yes. That's why some people have certain people around them
Yeah,
that they get paid to be yes men. So yeah, if your money and your livelihood depends on saying yes, I mean, be my guest. Say
I
yes,
don't.
until they stop paying you to tell them the truth. I mean,
I
till they
don't know
stop
if I
paying
could
you
do
to
that.
tell them the truth.
That's the next T-shirt. A1. Say yes. Be my
Say
guest. That's the T-shirt.
I mean, I think that I can't be critical because I don't
right.
know what somebody's going through or why they sit there and let their homeboy make bad music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But a lot of it is due to livelihood. Pardon. Mm, allergy season.
I know. Me
Terrible.
too.
Yes.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is so terrible right now.
Yeah, and I work in a warehouse that's full of dust,
dust.
so it really messes up my allergies, and real bad.
Oh,
Hi,
we
Okay.
have
everyone.
we have a lovely, lovely surprise.
What? Mm.
But, but.
Hi! I'm so
Greetings and
excited.
salutations. Woo! Salute Tiff the gift. Women's Appreciation. Women's International.
Happy that month.
This is dope. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
guys.
guys. I
Amazing.
appreciate it.
Does
So how's
anybody have a
everybody
question?
How
doing?
are
I'm
hey,
so
how are
I'm
you,
so
Tiff?
shocked I can't even speak.
It's
How you
good to see
doing?
all you guys. I'm doing okay. I can't
Yeah,
complain.
yeah, blessed today, right? Just to see another day, we're blessed. I think. SP about to cry. She
Oh
is
She
wow,
crying.
is crying.
really? Wow.
Why are we
Yeah,
Okay, I
crying?
didn't expect this. Wow.
yeah.
Me
Hey,
either. Why are we crying?
That's Tiff, you the
because
gift.
it's amazing to have you on here, and she's just super happy about it.
Hey, well, guess what? That makes me happy. Please don't do that. It makes
Come
me
on,
happy and
girl,
kind
ask your
of.
questions. Come on.
It's nice to meet you.
We have to interrupt this broadcast for crying right
I
now.
know.
Wow.
You it's nice to
I
meet
can't
you
even
too.
mute
This is
myself. What is going on?
Women's Appreciation Month. I am so happy. I'm so
I'm happy to
happy.
be here.
Here at Powerful Impact, we make
Oh,
dreams come true.
good
I
So
Lord.
love
Okay.
it.
I'll ask you something.
Yeah, I'll let you go first, Maria.
Yeah,
Let me get
you
myself
got
together.
you got a new project coming out? Anything recent? Because I know you had something drop a little while back, but I'm wondering if you got anything else coming out.
I'm just working right now, kind of recording. I did a few features. So yeah, I'm working on
Mhm.
another project. It's slow motion, but slow motion is better than no motion. So I'm
Right,
kind of
right.
taking my time.
And sometimes taking your time is good, right? I mean, because you want it to come out right. You want to take your time with it. I get it.
And
Well,
anybody knows me knows I'm always taking my time, which is not always a good thing.
it's worth it though once it comes out. The wait, you know what I mean? So
I
yeah, no
hope so.
complaints from me. No
Can I?
I
complaints.
hope so.
Go ahead,
Appreciate it.
Neville.
Am I all right? I want to ask a question, and since I have the two, I want to call this one of the first hip hop couples that
Hmm.
I've met. Underdog slash underground hip hop, boom bap hip hop, independent. What is because all I know, right? This is my naivete here. All I know is Papoose, Remy Ma, right? The Jay-Z, the Beyonce. I want
Right.
to hear about this first family hip hop here with the first one of the first documentaries that I've seen. Can we talk about? It's a three-part question. Can we talk about like married life, family life, and I guess raising children life? I don't even know what my question is, but
It,
I haven't
how
had a
about
couple on here, so I just want to. Could
how
we
about
start with whatever? Sorry.
all of those with having a career? How hard is that to manage all of those three uh, that Neville asked you
You can tell
about?
we're amateurs here. Pardon us,
I
Yeah.
okay?
mean, no,
We're
I
shocked.
don't think you, I don't think you amateurs at all. When it comes to the family, like having a balance, I mean, I, I'd be lying if I tell you it wasn't something I need. Sometimes, I mean, you get tired sometimes, but I'm the type of person that needs things to do and stuff to occupy my time. So, I mean, it comes with its challenges, but at the end of the day, I think my husband A1 used to say this all the time: love supersedes. So when you have like a huge amount of love and support in your household, from everybody, from the kids, and everything is reciprocated throughout, happiness is kind of easy to find. So in that happiness, it kind of overshadows all the extra hard work, or when you feel like you're too tired to keep moving. That support is huge. So in saying that, and make sure everybody or anybody listening, support your folks. And I didn't catch my friend's name when I first came on, but she made me feel great today. So
SP. Her
so
name is Shawana. We call her SP though.
SP, thank you
Yeah.
so much. You have truly made my day. All of you have. But yeah, just being a good support system and having it reciprocated is huge. So I hope that we find it in ourselves as humans, all throughout. Everybody on this call and anybody listening, you know, be that support system. It makes things a lot easier.
Right. I love that. And I imagine it is challenging at times because both of you are working. Then you're trying to handle the family, trying to also self care, like self time for yourself. because everybody needs me time. I find I need that a lot. Um, so I imagine it is challenging, and you guys seem like when we watched the documentary, when I watched it, and then listening to your guys' music, it just seems like you got it all under control. Like it's
Well,
just fits so perfectly. That's what it
They're
what
like, yes,
what we
it's
see.
acting. It's a
But
movie.
yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, I imagine it is challenging. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Oh, it is. And no, we don't have it all together. Uh, we
I
don't have it all
appreciate the
together.
honesty. Yeah.
But that's the fun part, right? Like you
Right.
spend your whole life trying to get it together. Like every day we live so that that last day we can actually become the people we really want to be, God willing, we
Right.
live that long, right?
Right.
So the challenge in it and the it not being a perfect day every day, that's the whole part of life. So I guess it's just
It
living.
is.
I don't think any of us are gonna have it all together.
Right. I always tell, like I used to tell my kids, the only guarantee in life we have is death. Everything else is lesson. We have to learn as we go, and sometimes some lessons are harder than others.
Striving for
Absolutely.
perfection each and every day. Striving for perfection.
Right.
But thanks for asking that question though. That was a good one.
Hmm. Go ahead, SP. Get your.
So,
It's,
um, the reason for the tears, I don't passed out was um that song meant so much to me. Um, I
That you
just
nearly passed out.
yeah, that song meant so much to me. I don't think sometimes um that artists realize that even as they're getting their feelings out, how much it touches other people. Can you kind of talk about um what brought Passed Out into fruition, because it really changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Well, I mean, for me, like I had again, if you did get a chance to check the documentary or even just hear some of the things I say, I lost my mother a little bit before I wrote that song, and I remember trying to push it and write a song about. I mean, because that's your instinct, right? You're an artist, and you lose something you really, really love or somebody close to you. The first thing you're thinking about when you go back to grab the pen is to write about that, right? So I went through, I don't know, I don't know how many songs trying to find the right one. And I remember telling A, it wasn't working for me. Like I just couldn't find the right words because I think the loss was so great. Um, so he was like, don't push it, just let it come to you. And eventually I was right. And I think I wrote that maybe a year later, something like that, maybe a year and a half later. But I heard a beat that A's cousin made on Instagram. And I remember sitting there writing a whole song off a 15-second clip because that was when
wow.
Instagram only lets you have 15 seconds.
Hmm.
And then I called him and, I was like, hey, you want to give that one up? And he said, it's yours. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the 15-second clips. It's a lot different now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's where that song came from. That was a great loss for me. And just, I tried to put every way I felt into words. Um, wasn't the most complex thing I've ever written, but it was the most pure, I think. So
The most
thank you for
heartfelt.
listening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I felt it, and I played it um for my mom because she had just lost her mom, and it was a bonding moment, and you brought that about, and I never thought I'd have a chance to say thank you.
Mm.
So that is why the
Thank
tears, because it
thank
it
you.
really it meant everything to us.
Yeah, well, that means everything to me. And that was one that was heartfelt that I hoped, could touch somebody else. And it was so personal that to hear that perspective from you is awesome. Almost overwhelming. Because that's one where I didn't, when you write a lot of times you try to write for your audience. that's when I totally wrote, because that's what I felt and that's what I wanted to write. So I'm glad it resonated in that way. And tell mom, is mom still around?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Tell her Tiff
yes.
said
She's in
peace
her
and thank you.
yes, she's in her 80s now. So, and she
Hey,
lost her
that's even
mom.
better.
Yeah, she lost her mom. Her mom was in her 80s, and it was a hard time, but that song was everything, and I really want to thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm humbled. So thank you. I can't even say that you're welcome, right? Because what you're saying probably means way more to me than the song meant to you. So thank you.
So, okay, I have a question I want to ask. So, I'm gonna ask this to A1. So, Women's Appreciation Month, right? Your wife says that night, if you're performing together in Europe, okay, for the first time, was like going out on your first date. Does it feel like it every time, or like, do you guys like, how was like the specialness of that, and are you guys like, I just want to hear from his perspective what it was like.
um,
No
from
pressure.
for me, it's always been music. Like I'm one of her biggest fans. So from the time that I heard her rap, I knew that she was gonna be around. Because I heard something special. And then
Right.
when got to meet her, the first place we went was just to the studio. Like that was literally like the first date. So every time we out doing shows or overseas or anything that we doing, it always brings us back to how we got together, why we got together, and that would never change. That's the bond. I tell people all
Right.
the time, hip hop gave me everything. You know what I mean? Like it gave me a career, wife, kids, everything that I love in this world came through this art form, this culture. So I'm in debt to the game forever, I guess.
So is it like you guys are bringing, let's just call it, we'll say hip hop, like your new baby into the world when you guys perform together, like, you know what I mean,
Or drop a new album.
when you
Um,
drop a new, yeah, you know.
um, you know what? We need to put out another project together. That's like a goal.
Yes,
To
please.
do an album together. It's so necessary. It makes so much sense that it has to happen. We did it before, but it was under speed. It was just poor circumstances surrounding it. It still was incredible, but I want to see what happens when we have the time um
Right.
to do it, and not constraints of time to like put something together because we're trying to meet a deadline to do this and do that amongst everything else that we have going on. So now we have nothing but time. So I definitely would like to do that because it just makes sense. We live together, we could tour together, everybody could,
Right. I, I
so
I think it makes sense because you got, yeah, for those reasons. Plus, I just think it would be a real special project,
I haven't heard
especially,
anything like that before.
I would love that a
I
yeah.
haven't
lot.
heard a project like that before. I think, right? Am I wrong, or has there been a project like that? Like Papoose and Remy Ma never did
Papoose
like a
and
whole.
Remy, no,
Did
Jean
they?
they've done
Grey and
some.
her
Jean
Jean
Grey,
Yes,
Grey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Jean
right.
Grey and her husband.
Yeah, they did something. It may have been
But he
other.
wasn't rhyming a lot, right? He was like more producing. No, actually, no, it wasn't. You're right. You're
Nah,
No,
right.
nah. It was a
no,
full
Beyonce
it
collection.
and
was a
Jay
full.
Z.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where have I
I
been
don't.
now? Now I'm bugging.
yeah. But you
Sean,
know,
wasn't there one with Sean P's?
They did a song together. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a song
All I'm hearing
together.
right now is reunited and it feels so good. I don't know
Ashford and
why I'm hearing
Simpson.
that for some weird
it,
reason.
Do you remember Ashford and Simpson? Solid,
So rock,
solid
rock,
as
rock,
a
rock,
rock.
rock.
You know.
it, there's been so many groups, and Love has made so much good music out there that we
Right.
could be here all night just talking about the people who made contributions. But I feel like it makes sense to me because my fastest growing song is with my wife. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like so my top song is with Deflo, but the song that grew the fastest and is, really racking up numbers is the song with my wife. It's coming in at number two, and then we dropped that 2 years after the
Yeah.
record with Deflo. So I think that that's another reason why it makes sense when you see that song. Like people like it, they want to hear that. They're telling me because numbers don't lie. I'm a
Yeah.
numbers guy. I like if I see it on paper or a computer screen and it's like
On
ding
the
ding
check.
ding, yeah,
Or on the check, yeah.
like
Sometimes those numbers lie though. The check number, like man, I'd be like, I
nah,
know, I worked
I've been
hard.
there.
I know I worked longer than this. Like, yeah, but
Nah, I've
yeah,
been there. But it makes sense, and I think that
Yeah,
we can
my
bring
my
stuff to
checks lie
the
on
table.
every 1st and 16th.
yeah, mine's too, girl. I'm telling you, every week
That's a lie.
I'd be like, wow, all this taxes taken out. Like, good God,
FICA.
man,
Look,
working
yeah,
for the man. That's it.
yeah.
So it's Women's History Month. As a female artist, is maneuvering through the industry, how different is it for you moving through the industry?
You know what? I think there's